Okay, because everything, all the equipment, the fuel, everything that we need to be successful in trucking, the prices of everything is going up, but nobody's paying us more. We're actually getting paid less to run. So for me, if I want to scale that company, I can't do that because the foundation of trucking is not secure. What's going on, man? It's your boy Living here, and I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the channel, Smooth Trucking, with the one and only Smooth Trucker. So today I want to talk to you guys about a few things. Number one, I want to talk to you guys about, the reality of trucking in 2026. I want to talk to you guys about did I decide to move to a different country, and where I would like for the channel to go moving forward from this video moving forward. So we're going to start backwards and move outward forward. So from this video, I kind of want this channel to be more of a podcast where, it's basically, I think I'm gonna call it like Truckers Talk, where, we talk about, trucking, the reality of it, and where it's going, where you guys think it's going, how your journey is going in trucking, and so forth. And so the next question is, did I decide to move to a different country? And the answer to that is yes. I did make my decision to move to a different country, and we're going to talk about that, and that's going to combine with the reality of trucking. First of all, I'm still in America right now. I did not leave yet. I'm still getting my things together, figuring out all the things I can take. But the reason why I decided to move to a different country is simply because I own my own company. There were things that I did not know or realize until I became, until I reached that level. So if you guys been watching the channel, you guys know that I own my own trucking company. I own my truck. I am not a lease operator, okay? Excuse me. I am not a lease operator. I have my own truck. I get my own loads, my own drivers. I hired a dispatcher. So I did all of that. And so there are things that comes with that. I had a person tell me they were amazed at the things that I were able to do, in my trucking company, with the trucking industry being the way that it is. And the truth is that it looks good from the outside looking in, okay? But the reality is it's truly exhausting. And I'm gonna tell you guys some reasons why that is, that I did not realize until, again, I was able to, run my own company. First of all, you have to realize that there are two types of truck drivers, okay? You have the truck drivers that, they live or want to live in their truck. They enjoy doing that type of work, okay? Whether it's working for a company or being an owner operator or lease operator, they're on their own company, okay? Then you have the truckers who they want a life outside of that truck, and these two truck drivers, their life, their experience as truckers are going to be totally different, okay? So I'm coming from the standpoint of a trucker who wants a life outside of that truck. I want to have a family outside of that truck. I want to build relationships. I want to live outside of that truck, okay? The truth is that you really can't do that at this point in time in America, okay? Now, we all know that in order to be successful, you have to make sacrifices. We all know that, and we do. You know, all truck drivers make sacrifices. But I didn't realize how crooked the system is until I was able to have and run my own company at a high level. Now, I'm gonna start off with talking about a person who works a 9 to 5. Now, when you work a 9 to 5, it's going to be very hard for an individual to achieve financial success if they want a life again outside of that truck. Because one of the issues is that, you know, they put a cap at how much money you make when you work a 9 to 5. Number two, the cost of living is constantly increasing, and what they're paying you to work at these jobs is not matching the cost of living with all the expenses and everything going up. So you will never be able to truly achieve financial success, you know, when you do that. You know, you just, you know, you're working for the system. You're working making them rich, right? So what do? You say, you know what, I'm gonna create my own company. I'm gonna run my own company. That way I can be on my time. I can have my time. You know, I can create this, you know, financial, not only, you know, financial stability, but you can create financial freedom by doing that. So the thing is that the system has become so clever that they have engineered a way for business owners to now actually be 9 to 5 workers, to work for the system, okay? And this is because of the high cost of doing business, okay? When you work, for example, a 9 to 5, you have, you know, the high cost of living that you have to worry about, right? When you own your own company, you not only have to worry about the high cost of living, but you also have to worry about the high cost of doing business, okay? When you're running a business, the goal is to scale that company. You know, for example, since we're in the trucking industry, we're going to talk about trucking. I can, you know, but this applies to all online businesses, real estate, all that. But we're going to stick with trucking. So the point is to scale that business, to get me out of the truck, you know, for pretty much it run itself, you know, where I have income, where I can just be free to live a life of freedom with my business running itself, okay? The thing is, the cost of doing that is so much because the system is not stable. So I'll give you an example. For me, let's say I have one truck that I own. Now I pay on that truck, right? The insurance for that truck costs, right? To get my loads costs, to factor the loads costs. Fuel goes up constantly, right? Now, all of these things you have to take account for, you know, getting the load boards, all that, all of those expenses on top of many other that I just can go on, but it's just too much to talk about. That's one truck, right? Now, if I want to hire another truck driver, you have to include all of those expenses and more, because now that truck driver, he's an expense because you have to pay him, right? You have to pay him and that insurance for that truck and everything else, okay? The cost of doing business is so much and we're not giving anything extra. For example, with the tariffs in the community. Now, if you're a truck driver again and you own your own truck, you're responsible for fixing that truck, right? The parts and labor to those trucks now have went up, okay? And because of that, you know, that's gonna contribute to another problem, because what you need to realize is that people are not thinking in their head that truck drivers are not making the money that they used to. They're not thinking that. They don't even care. All they care is about, we can increase these prices. And so that's what they do. They increase the price of everything. Everything all over the board is expensive. Even if a person is in real estate, that, the equipment that they need to run that real estate business, everything is going up across the board. But that does not mean that they're making more, right? Because, the property taxes and everything, it's going up. So they're making less. It's the same thing with trucking. Okay, because everything, all the equipment, the fuel, everything that we need to be successful in trucking, the prices of everything is going up, but nobody's paying us more. We're actually getting paid less to run. So for me, if I want to scale that company, I can't do that because the foundation of trucking is not secure. It's not. It can collapse anytime, because as truckers, we're calling out for help. I mean, I know you guys see videos all the time about how the trucking industry is. It's unstable. But our system, our politicians and everything, they focus on other things. They don't focus on the American consumer or the American worker. Okay? The American dream is over. Right? You can't obtain it because the system no longer cares about the worker. It used to, but that does not exist here anymore. So as I was running my company, I was saving up my money, and I just was thinking to myself, it's time. I think it's about time for me to leave, make a change. Because here in America, we're running, we're a hamster on a wheel. That's all we're doing. We're spinning our wheels. We can't truly get anything done here because the policies are always going to be against us. It's always going to find a way to charge us more for something and not give us more. And that's the issue that I'm seeing as a person who's running his company. Everything, every year, it always goes up, but there's no one that said, okay, we're going to give the American people more money. We're going to give these businesses more money or more breaks. They're not doing that, right? And so that's the issue. Now, when it comes to these multimillionaires and these billionaires, they're constantly giving them tax breaks. They're constantly giving them write-off. But for the American small business and business owners, there's none of that. And so I had to ask myself, is this something that I want to continue to do? And the answer is no. Because like I said, when they see what I could do, when they're on the outside looking in, it's something to talk about, but the reality is totally different. And it's just exhausting. And so, I have made the decision to leave. Now, does that mean that you can't be successful at trucking? No. Again, it depends on what you want to do. Like, it depends on who you are as a trucker. Like I say, there's two types of truckers. There's a trucker who's okay living in that truck. Okay, their life is the truck. But then you have individuals who want a life outside that truck, who wants friends, family outside that truck, who want to build outside that truck. Those are two different people. So you have to understand who you want to be as a truck driver. But I'm not gonna make this video that long, so I'm gonna stop it here, and I'm gonna let you guys, if you guys have any questions, any thoughts, make sure to let me know, and I'm going to respond to them. I'm gonna make a video responding to your questions. Like I said, I want to turn this channel into a podcast and just, give you guys the help that you need as truck drivers, answer any questions that you guys have as truck drivers, and so forth. So once again, man, it's your boy Living. Thank you guys for tuning in to the channel, and see you guys next time on Smooth Trucking.